So that's the first word, right? So gave the first slogan from the Nagarjuna verses on giving. And the next one I have a little more experience with than I had with the first, and this one has to do with jealousy. And what I want to remind us is that these teachings are about giving, and it's said that if you enact these teachings, they reduce your afflictions and lead you to nirvana. So we hold these with this great view in mind when we do them, which you're not really always feeling all of that or thinking about all of that when you have jealousy in the mind. But these whole teachings that Venerable Children gave were about having active compassion. So I try to keep those things in my mind when jealousy comes up and I'm trying to work with it, that both having compassion in my mind and also having giving in my mind are both things that try to make my mind a little wider, because when I am jealous of something, my mind is usually quite narrow. And I found that I didn't do so well with the usual antidote, which is why I got interested in these verses, and this was one of the ones that helped me a lot. Because usually when you have jealousy in the mind, first it's hard to recognize, but even once you do, at least for me, I think because it's mixed with anger sometimes, I couldn't really get myself to rejoice. That's the usual antidote. When you're jealous, you're supposed to rejoice for the other person's good fortune. And I've had that work, but I've also had it not work. So this verse was more helpful to me and actually did help me a lot. And so it says, by being respectfully mindful of another when giving, they don't always put that in, one gets rid of jealousy. So instead of trying to rejoice, I would try to be respectfully mindful of another. And what I learned from this was that it helped me a lot. It helped me to actually open up my eyes and look at the other person instead of believing my thoughts. And so sometimes I would find myself just I'd make myself just look at the person, and the whole thing had to kind of dissipate, because what I was really reacting to was my thoughts. And when I looked at the person, it was like it didn't quite match up, and it became kind of obvious. That was one thing I learned. And the other was that, first, jealousy is a horrible affliction to have. It just fills your mind, and it makes you kind of miserable, and you can't sleep, and you're just colors things in a really awful way. And once you really recognize it, and so once you try to be respectfully mindful of another, you're actually now looking at the person, and you're looking at them, not only looking at them, but you're looking at them with respect. And so it made me look at the situation, and it made me actually see that the things when I was jealous, especially say if I was jealous of one person, how they were interacting with another person, I want that, whatever, attention, praise, whatever it was. It made that person into a commodity. And that was really one of the things that really took me away from being jealous, because I realized not only the person I'm jealous of, but the other person I might have been that it was in relationship with, that person really was becoming a commodity. I wanted their attention, I wanted their this, I wanted their that, I wanted their thing, whatever it was. And that made me kind of sick to my stomach to be holding someone that way. And so that was a really good antidote for me. It's like when I see my mind get jealous, I just think, wow, look what you're doing to this person. You're being kind of a jerk and miserable, and all the kind of interactions you have when you're jealous, and especially if you're not fully aware of it, it's kind of, I think, even more destructive then, because it comes out, and you know how things come out when you're not fully aware of them. They come out kind of sideways. They don't go so well. And so then to be aware of it and to see how I was holding other people then, that was really one of the things that really took me away from it. And so by being respectfully mindful of another, one gets rid of jealousy. So maybe that will be helpful for you too.